that I wear. One, lately, the hat I'm wearing is I hate to use the word, a politician. So I'm doing a lot of speaking. I'm actually learning a lot how to talk to people in a nice way and try to convince them to come and vote the right way. I don't want to just hurt anybody's feelings, but God bless the Republicans. I apologize if that came out too wrong. So that's one of the hats. The other hat is I am a truck driver. And when Cindy and I, my wife, she's and my daughter's back here. I'm not embarrassing them, but they're back there with me. We used to own a trucking company, and I used to go long haul. And here's one of the events that I had when I was going long haul. As a boy, it lived in the Central Valley. It has never drove in the snow. I was coming back from Detroit, and when I was traveling, the Lord said, listen, we need you to stop. So he put so much snow on the ground that even what we call the salt shakers, the people that clean up the road, they wasn't able to fix it, so we had to pull over. Now, the reason I said the Lord did this, because the whole story about this is he put me in a situation that I could help somebody. I was at that truck stop there, and we're sitting there watching TV. Have you ever been to a truck stop where you notice that they have like a little lounge for us truck drivers? Well, it stinks, but it has a little TV. We sit there, and we're watching a ball game, or it was some kind of sports thing, and we started... How can I say this without hurting my feelings? I talk too much. So I started talking to a gentleman, and he goes, he's from Victor Valley. I'm like, ooh, I know some people from Victor Valley. If you guys know the history of the Tahoe Family Encampment, Victor Valley used to bring a whole bunch of youth over to the camp to put the tents up. So my job on the camp is to get the tents up, so I was very close to that youth group. So I started talking, hey, have you ever met anybody in the Church of Christ? Because anytime we have a chance, we need to have an opportunity to bring our faith in that conversation. Not being a pushing way, but an easy way of bringing it in. Because you know what? I want them to know I am a member of the church. I am God's son. And I want them to know that. So we started having that conversation and back and forth. He goes, yeah, I was invited to that church one time. I said, oh, did you go? You get silence when you ask that question. And he goes, yeah, I went to one of their events. And I go, oh, so who do you know there? The next time I know some big old truck driver, and trust me, kind of looked like you, sir, a big guy, He looked at me and went, hey, you guys need to stop that religious stuff and leave the church, leave here, get out of here. We don't want to talk religion now. So we got up and we went to the little cafe. Started going there. Now remember, the roads, for you to understand how angry people were, we don't make money if we're not moving. You understand? The truck drivers don't make money if we're not moving. So we're stuck on the 80 in Wyoming. No one's making money. They're cold. They're angry. So the gentleman and I started talking about the church, about Jesus. I didn't mention the Church of Christ. I just mentioned Jesus. So a guy behind me looks at me and goes, hey, you can't. Are you members of the Church of Christ? I said, yes, I am. I'm proud. Yes, I am a member of the church. He goes, I was kicked out of the church. I'm trying to teach this guy about love, and then he's talking about being kicked out. Caleb, you have to correct him, correct? I mean, you have to turn around and say, hey, well, wait a minute. So I turned around, and I like a fight, to be honest with you. I like to argue. I mean, my wife usually wins in the house because I'm a smart man, but I had to argue. I turned around and argued with him. I said, okay, well, what do you mean you were kicked out? Well, I was kicked out. He started telling me his story. Now, when he started this, he goes, I was kicked out during potluck. Amen. I knew it was Church of Christ automatically when he said that. I said, what do you mean you were kicked out? He's like, well, I was there during potluck. I'm like, okay, Church of Christ. And they kicked me out. I said, well, okay, why? Why? Give me your reasons why. Yeah, I use reason, Mark. I said, give me your reasons why. And he goes, well, I was a little drunk. I said, okay, I mean, who hasn't been drunk at the church of love of the Christ? I understand that. I mean, sometimes, don't you guys, amen, don't you feel drunk of the Lord? You're feeling the Spirit? He looked at me and he goes, no, they kicked me out because I pushed the elder. I'm like, ooh, okay, laying hands now. So he says, no, I was kicked out because of the church. They told me to leave and don't come back. I said, wait a minute. Did he say don't leave and don't come back? He goes, well, he told me to leave. How long was that? He goes, 5 years ago. Have you contacted him back? No, I was disfellowshipped. I said, really? So the elders took you to the side and disfellowshipped you? Well, yes, because he told me to leave. I said, no, they corrected you. You were corrected, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's a loving church. That's family saying, listen, if you're in a place doing something wrong, you don't need to be there. Let's take you to the side. And plus, to be honest, that elder was trying to get the chicken. So, you know what I mean? Don't touch him. So, getting more and more in the story, I said, okay, so where is this church? He goes, well, this is the part that really saddens me. It's just right down the road. I said, right down the road, how far? So he told me the town. I'm like, oh, yeah, I just passed that up. He goes, and it's today's Sunday. I said, it hurts you that you're not with your family, right? He goes, yeah. I go, did it hurt you because you're not with your family? Yes, it does. He goes, I go, do you drink anymore? And he goes, no, I haven't drank for about 4 years. I go, ooh, wow, okay, the elder actually knew what he was doing, I guess. Why don't you drink anymore? He goes, because that was embarrassing what I did. I go, so what else? Do you miss anything? He goes, yes. I miss not seeing my mom because I haven't seen my mom anymore. I miss the family of the church. And I'm like, well, see, that is what the church is. Then I turn around to the guy and said, see, the church is family. That's why I said God put me in that spot to have that conversation with them. So I said, John, see, when you leave the church, if you're not away from the church or you're not part of the church, you are missing something. Then he turns around and he goes, yeah, well, I really, really would love to have the courage to contact them again. It's Sunday. Lord gave me the iPhone. I don't care if you Andrew guys, but iPhone's the number one. So I went, name of the church, click. Okay, their service. Give me 5 more minutes and their service will be over. So I call that number. And let me tell you, if you ever had a silent prayer, I was doing it. Lord, please show this guy grace. Show me that they're going to have that phone. It's going to answer. Gentleman picked up the phone. Hey, how you doing? My name is James Paine, member of the Hollister Church of Christ. I'm over here at the Little America, stuck in the snow. Yeah, there's big snow. I said, yeah, well, I'm here with John. Oh. Okay, this is not going good. So John kind of told me a little bit of the story, and he would like to, well, is he there with you? I said, yeah, and he goes, hold on. And I used to have a mic. Boom. I was like, oh, no. He goes, so what did he say? I said, oh, we're working on it. Elder picks up the phone and tells me, he goes, so where are you at? I said, we're at the Little America just down the road. He goes, okay, I know where that is. He goes, how's he doing? I said, he hasn't been drinking since 4 years. He goes, good. I go, he's married now. He has a child, and he really wants to see his mom. He goes, well, I know his mom would love to see him too. How long are you going to be there? I said, forever, the way these salt shakers never let me leave. But I'll be here until you. And he goes, well, does he mind if we come by? John, do you mind if the elder comes by? And he goes, which one? I said, sir, are you the one he struck? He goes, I am, but tell him I forgave him. So he forgave you. He goes, he could come. So the part I want to get at, and I think I have Mark. I wrote notes here. I really did. Okay. I wanted to go up to Luke 15, Luke 15:20. So what happened in this that really, really made me just, I knew that there was going to be 2 or 3 people coming. So we're in this little cafe. Here it comes. The door opens up. This elder comes over, and he goes, that's the elder. I said, oh, man, I wouldn't have hit him. And he comes. I go, but I got your back. He comes over. He shakes John's hand and gives him a hug. And then he goes, your mama's here. Would you like to? Yeah. So I'm like, ooh, all right, I'm not going to cry. His mother comes. I'm going to be honest with you. It kind of got me a little shaken up there. His mother comes. They're hugging. They're crying. John was crying. The young man from Victor Valley, he was like, wow. But what happened, what made me just knew the Lord was part of that day, and he's with every day, but this situation, he goes, there's a couple other people who want to come and see you too. Do you mind if they come in? And he's like, yeah. So he gets on the phone. People just start coming in. They had a joy bus, but it didn't say joy bus back then, but I still call all church bus a joy bus, all right? So they had a bus and the other cars, and they kept on coming in. Now understand, it was snow where you could not see that gentleman in the back. Everybody look at him. You can't see that far. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick on you. But it was so much, but they knew what they're doing because they know how to drive in the snow. Me, I was not going to drive until the snow stopped. But it was so much snow that all the people, and I found out that the whole church, plus one, because they had a visitor, came to see their brother. That's what family is all about. Mark, read that scripture. Luke 15:20. Luke 15:20.
So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him.
So we're talking about the prodigal son. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that part. Again, I'm not a professional preacher. I just look good in a suit. So in the prodigal son, he left, okay? And then what did he do? What did the father say? Repeat that. He walked up to him. Is that what he said? He ran. Ran to his son.
And
threw his arms around him. Made him like knew that this, you're gone, but now you're back. That's what family is all about. Now, I'm proud to tell you that his mom, at that time, I'm telling you, I had to take my glasses off. I was in so much joyful of tears of joyful. For one, he didn't get beat up because I was a big elder. And I didn't know if I was supposed to protect the elder or protect him, but it was, elders, I would have protected you guys. But the joy of seeing Christian after Christian after Christian as the family kept on coming in because they missed their loved one. They missed their loved one. He was told to leave because he misbehaved. That was the church's right. If we had someone here in the church right now and he or she was just keep on making noise and screaming at me, I would be the first person to say, hey, listen, I'm going to escort you out and we'll sit down and after service I'll have a conversation with you because that's our right. Because when you have service, it's time to celebrate the Lord and commune together. But it was not get out and never come back. Even if you're... Who's the elders here? Raise your hand to the elders. Okay. Brother. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. I already know the answer, but I want to make sure we're on the same page. This is your flock here. You're the elder here, the only one here, which that's kind of scary. You only have one, but we'll talk about that later. So when you disfellowship someone, and I'm 54, 54, right, babe? Okay, 54 years old. 54 years old, and I have only heard one time in my life that a church disfellowshipped someone. But it was always to fix it. Not to never come back, right?
It's to bring them back.
Bring them back. To fix the problem, what they have, because they're doing something that could infect the rest of the church. I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV, but sometimes you have to cut the arm off if the gangrene just keeps on going. And that's what God was putting that for. But when they come back, that is where, like the prodigal son's father, we all fellowship him. That's what the church is. The encampment is my church. The encampment, I love going there every single year of fellowshipping and seeing my brothers and sisters there. Communing with them, fellowshipping with them. Yes, Cindy and I and Michaela, we go to a very small church. Let's just put it this way. They're hurting because I'm not there, and it's not because I wasn't speaking. It's just I took two other people to come with me. It's a small church. That's our family there too. When our daughter was here, Danielle Paine, and she's probably watching on Facebook. Love you, babe. You guys were her family here. And we were celebrating. As parents, we were so happy that we knew that she was in a good place. The church is family. The church is family. And we have to always continue knowing and loving that. Caleb, how you doing? All right. Can I get you to read Acts 2:44. Everybody, we're going to read Acts 2:44. We're going to go from 44 to 47.
And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved.
Gathering together, working together, helping each other, loving each other. That's our family. If you have not been in the family yet, if you have not given your life to Christ, I would love to have you come down. If you have not saw that the world is not going to get you to heaven, we just had a good class just talking about that earlier. What the world is trying to teach our kids is not right. I want you to come down when John leads his song. We need to love each other, but also to help each other. Because this world is crazy. My campaign is called I'm Sick and Tired. I'm sick and tired of what the world is doing to our kids, teaching them about indoctrinating them to left or right. We need to get them educated. But we as a family need to educate them about Christ. That's our job. All of us, not just John the preacher and the elder. Each one of us need to know that we are family. Come now if you are ready to come to the Lord, or if you need prayers, please come to the church.